Hi guys, today I'm going to be telling you guys the story about when some shady girl stole my perfume. And I hope you guys like it and just keep watching. So let me give you guys a little background. So we were I knew her because we went to high school together, one of my high schools. And I'm not going to say her name. I'm going to name her Shady because she's shady. So yeah, so we're gonna call her Shady. So this happened when I had just started beauty school, so I was barely learning how to like do nails and hair and all of that stuff. And I was starting to practice. I kind of was leaning more towards nails. I thought that was gonna be like my favorite, and I did it for a while, and it's not my favorite. So yeah, I was like practicing. I was starting to get good, but this was when I was barely starting. So I was starting and I was getting people like, oh, I'll charge you like $5 just so that I can practice on you, you know, or like I won't charge you anything, just let me practice on you and stuff, right? So I had a couple of girls, like a couple of my friends, like let me practice on them, and she was one of them that was like, oh, do my nails. I just want my nails done. I don't care how they are. I just want my nails done. And I was like, okay, we'll come over. So she came over and I did her nails. And at first I was trying some new stuff that I had, so it was kind of harder, especially because when you first start out you want to do the most, but I think you should master like the basics before you try any like new products and start doing all of that, just so that you know and get comfortable with everything first before. That way it'll be easier to just work on the new stuff. So, but I thought I was a pro, so I started like, I was gonna work with this new stuff that I had, but it was a little bit thicker. I think it was like some beads, like just like beads acrylic. I don't know, it had beads in it, I remember, and it was like thicker, so it was harder to work with for me because like I said, I didn't even have like the basics like, you know, mastered and down and whatever. So it was a little hard. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I know, like the glitter and that, so that way I like the outcome. And which was dumb because I was just learning and they knew this, so I should have just practiced and just kept practicing. But I wanted it to look nice, so I was just like, I'm just gonna stick to what I know, which was glitters. So I did the glitters. Okay, so I did her nails, and because I had been doing her nails for a while, I kind of felt bad because when I do a shitty job, I just feel bad, and I'm like, I feel like I have to do more for you, you know, like just so that you're satisfied. But which is stupid because like I said, I was just practicing. She knew this, you know. So I was like, you know what, are you hungry? Because it was getting late. And I was like, are you hungry? Because I'm hungry, let's go eat somewhere. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I think we went to McDonald's. And I was like, no, it's okay, girl, like I got it. And she's like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, let's just go. And she's like, okay. And so I got her some McDonald's and we ate. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll drop you off at home. And she was like, okay. And so I dropped her off at home, and before we got to her house, we were just talking, like we were just talking in the car and just having like a normal conversation, right? So I reached to, like, you know, under your stereo there's like a little pocket where you put just random things. Well, I had put my Victoria's Secret perfume that my mom had just gotten me, and it smelled so good to me. So I don't remember which one it was, but it was a perfume, like, you know how there's body sprays and then the actual perfumes. Okay, well, my mom had gotten me the actual perfume, and I had it in my car, and then I was like, oh, my mom just got me this, and I was like, it smells so good, and I sprayed it, and she was like, oh, it does smell good, and I put it back. Okay, so we were almost to her house when this happened. And then we kept talking, and then I remember I had to turn, like, I had to turn my body, like there was something on the door that I needed. I think it was like my phone or something. And I remember I turned, and she was kind of like awkward after I turned back. So it was kind of awkward when I turned back around because she was acting like weird. You know how like when you turn around and somebody's doing something that they're not supposed to, so they're kind of like just awkward. Well, that's how she was, but I didn't like, I was just like, maybe she's, it just didn't click in my head that like she took my perfume, bitch. So I was just like, oh, well, where do I go to your house? So she was just like giving me directions on how to get in her house. We were having like conversations and whatever. So we get to her house and she gets out the car and she's like, oh, okay, bye, girl. And then I was like, oh, bye. And then I go home. It was already late that day, so I just went home and like whatever, went to sleep. And she didn't text me or anything. And the next morning I get up and I go to school, and that's why I had my perfume, because I would always forget to put it on at the house, so I have it in my car. That way in the morning I would just spray it. So I was going to school and I reached to get my perfume to spray it, and it's gone. And I'm like, what? So like I look under the seats and in the car, whatever, to check if it fell, because sometimes when you turn things fall out. And so I was like, my perfume's gone. And I was just like, well, maybe it's like all the way under the seat. I just didn't think she would steal it. And then looking back on it, like everybody she used to hang out with, not saying that like you have to be like the people who you hang around with, but it kind of says something about you. The people that she used to hang around with were shady. So if you're used to that and that's who you hang out with, then I'm gonna assume that you're shady. And so I was just like, well, yeah, you know, like, I don't know, I'm just gonna text her and see what she says, because I can't find my perfume. And she was the last person in the car with me, and I just used it last night. So I text Shady and I'm like, hey, remember the perfume that I sprayed that I was telling you about? It's gone and I can't find it. And she's like, oh, well, if you want to come to my house after school, I can help you look for it. And I'm like, what? Like, bitch, why would you help me look for it? Like, I'm not retarded. I can look for the fucking perfume. It's like a itty bitty car. And I'm just like, okay, no, it's okay. And just because she kept pushing the issue of like going to her house, because we were texting back and forth, and she just kept saying like, oh, are you sure, like you could just come over and I'll help you look for it, like just come over, I'll help you. And I'm just like, no, why would, no, like it just didn't make sense to go to her house so that she could help me look for something that I could look for. If it was there, it was there, and if it's not, it's not there. And so that kind of made me think that she did take it. So I was just like, whatever, like super shady, because I did your nails for free. I didn't charge her. I told her I was gonna charge her $5 to $10, but I didn't charge her because I was like, you know, I'm just like practicing, thanks for letting me practice on you. So I didn't charge her. And then we went to go get something to eat, and I bought her something to eat, and then I gave her a ride home. So I was just like, it's super shady for you to steal somebody's perfume or anything that I would have had in my car. If you're stealing it, that's shady as fuck. Like, I'm buying you something to eat, I did your nails, and I'm taking you home. Like, what? And even if I wasn't doing any of that, like, these things don't belong to you. You don't know how somebody got that. You don't know what it means to them. You don't know if they have money to buy another one. Like, it's not yours. You're not supposed to take it. You're being shady as fuck. So after that, I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna take anybody home, because I was doing a couple of people's nails, and I'm like, I'm not taking nobody home. I'm not gonna be nice to anybody, because nobody's nice to me. Like, what the fuck do you mean? And I've always had this, like, I have a lot of stories that I'm gonna tell about when people stole from me, because I've had a lot of shady people. Like, I've always been somebody who gives somebody the benefit of the doubt. And I always go out of my way for people, always. And then shady shit like that happens all the time, and I'm like, bitch, no. And now I've gotten better at it, where I'm like, I don't go out of my way for people that don't fucking go 2 steps for me. So I've learned that, and I'm really glad, because before that would really fuck me up. Because just to know, like, that you go all out for people and people don't do anything for you, that's pretty fucked up. It's a pretty fucked up feeling. So yeah, that was the time that this shady bitch stole my perfume. But I mean, it is what it is. It was a long time ago. I'm over it. I don't like when people steal shit from other people or just take things that don't belong to you. It's stealing. But I'm over it. It was a long time ago. I never talked to her again after that. And yeah, it is what it is. It was a long time ago. Like I said, I'm over it. But if you're gonna take anything from this story, I would want you to take the part where I said I learned from my mistakes, and don't go out of your way for people who wouldn't go 2 steps for you. So yeah, and that is my story. And let me know in the comments below how would you guys have handled the situation, or what would you guys have done differently. I love to hear your guys' input. Like, your guys' feedback means a lot to me. I love reading your guys' comments. I love you guys messaging me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Like, it amazes me that you guys actually care to message me about the videos that I make and stuff. And I just want to thank you guys for 72 subscribers. And if you guys could please share my video or like, subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video.